How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week. Is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday? Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new episode. It is Sunday, September 15th. I'm rocking the Diamond Hands shirt because that's what I want to be ready to do all of this week coming up. We got CPI, we got FOMC, or is it CPI? I completely forgot. Is it? Wait, we completely tweeted the wrong thing? I think I tweeted the wrong thing. FOMC anyways was what's coming up this week, I believe September 18th on Wednesday. So we're looking at all things that's going to possibly move the market around this week, what to expect from it, the earnings board, the economic calendar, and what are the FOMC probabilities looking like? What should we prepare for from the market? SPY literally into the all-time high over here, getting ready for possibly a really big explosive expansion past the north side after taking out that high. QQQ a little bit short of all-time high, but still very close into that level. So lots to prepare for, lots of money making opportunities. Does the Fed cut the interest rates, or do they actually back off on what the probability is currently pricing in for the market over here? So lots of fun stuff coming up that only time will tell, but thankfully we can prepare for it using technicals and all other fun stuff that we use to trade off of. We had a lot of movers last week. Also, we're gonna go through some of the movers from last week, see if they potentially are setting up at some levels to take advantage off of, talk about the big picture on the market, the QQQ, the S&P 500, and so on. Some other names that we haven't really talked about in a long time, but they've been making a move recently, so we'll go take a look at those too. I have a watch list ready for you guys for tomorrow. I have all the other stuff that we want to keep an eye on kinda for the rest of the week also planned out. So we're ready for a fun episode. Hopefully you're locked and loaded. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and let's have some fun. Before we head to the full screen though, I want to say hello to my wonderful viewers. I want to try something out, something new out also that I built over the weekend. Let's see if this works. Hey, hopefully that works. You can now see the messenger and their message. So TH always first or second on YouTube. Love to see your name in the chats over there, TH. Hopefully you're having a wonderful weekend yourself. It's a football weekend. It's week 2. I've been kind of staying away from watching football because I don't want to get back into the whole sports betting realm. So I'm kind of staying away from football a little bit. Don't want to get back into it, but I am tracking all the stats on the sidelines. Tracking the stats on the sidelines. We also got C-Dubs in the chat who's answering to my question if I was live, because like I said, I'm trying out something new over here, so not sure if that integration was gonna work or not, but I'm glad to see that it is working perfectly fine. We got Angry Buddha, the wrench beside his name. That means he's a moderator. Be careful, he can ban you. Angry Buddha's in the house. What's up, Angry? How you doing, brother? Always lovely to see you in the chat. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we head over to the full screen here and get ready to talk about all the fun things that we might need to keep an eye on for the wonderful week of September 16th, 2024. That's right, we're almost at September. It's almost the end of the year. My goodness, time flies, ladies and gentlemen. Time absolutely flies when you're having fun in the market. Angry Buddha saying he's a lazy mod. Is that a little fuzzy? What's going on with that one? Hopefully that's not fuzzy. Let's see. Is that fuzzy for you guys? That looks fuzzy for me. Hopefully not. But here's the earnings calendar. Pretty boring earnings calendar. Pretty dead earnings calendar coming up for the coming week over here. As you guys can see, not many names that we've actually traded before, such as IPA. Only thing I like to read IPA is on a beer bottle. Besides that, I don't care about it. So never really traded IPA. We got a bunch of other names here that are reporting. Some names that do start to stand out are actually later on in the week, such as General Mills, FedEx, and Cracker Barrel. Not something that I like trading. Cracker Barrel's volume is very, very light, but names that I have looked at before actually show up in the later end of the week, sadly, on the earnings board. So pretty dead earnings board. We're gonna have to keep our ears open for the news catalyst. What stocks are moving off of volume in the pre-market, what stocks are moving off of volume in the after hours, and start tracking them, because now the earnings board is sadly coming to a all-around end almost. We're gonna have a bunch of names here and there yet to report, but most of the big names that we care about that report, that give us money-making opportunities, have already reported. So that's that. Now, if we go take a look at the economic calendar, really the only thing that matters on the econ calendar all of this week is going to be that FOMC interest rate decision, which is going to be at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. We do have a couple other numbers coming out that is going to most likely help FOMC either decide to cut or keep the interest rates continually steady, which are retail numbers coming out on Tuesday pre-market. But the main numbers that were already supposed to come out have already come out, honestly, which is the CPI and the PPI and all their fun stuff. So the interest rate decisions, I believe, have already been taken. They're not going to change based on retail numbers, so I'm not expecting the market to make too much of a move. But based on the forecast, if the number actually comes out way of a big surprise away from the forecast, it could potentially put the market in a scare and bring it back down away from that all-time high area. And then maybe FOMC really needs to decide if they want to continue holding interest rates. But that is basically all she has today on this week over here. There are a couple other numbers on Thursday that potentially could move the market, but I believe after making the move on FOMC decision, the market's most likely just going to use that momentum either to the upside or to the downside, whatever direction the market sets off in for the rest of the week. So FOMC, the only real main thing that matters, and that's on Wednesday, 2 o'clock. Then you also have the Powell comments, which we'll be having at 2:30 on Wednesday. So those are also very important. Wow. Look at the tides shifting. The tides are now moving over. We are now calculating a 52% probability of a 50 beeps rate cut incoming. This was probably the highest we've seen now for the 50 beeps rate cut. As you can see at the bottom over here, 1 month ago 50 beeps was at 25% probability. 1 week ago 50 beeps was at a 30% probability. 1 day ago it was at a 50%. So over the weekend, something happened, and now we're pricing in a little bit more. Something that also that I noticed over the weekend, maybe the most recent assassination attempt on Trump. I'm putting this one in quote because I think it was just gunfire around him at his rally. I'm not sure if it was an assassination attempt or not, but maybe that one tipped the scales back in his favor, as Trump is now once again 50% probability to win the presidential campaign compared to Kamala Harris, which is at a 49%. So not a completely 100% indicator of exactly who's gonna win or lose, but these days Polymarket doing a pretty damn good job at pricing that in. And the CME tool over here, we are also pretty good. This tool does a pretty damn good job pricing in the possible expectations from the market. You see these moving every day, I'm not gonna say every minute, but you see how often they update over here at the bottom if you're ever interested to keep a track on it. So these move pretty often, and it's a very good indication of the FOMC interest rate decisions, and based on how the market moves off of that. So keep an eye on this one. For those of you interested on this tool, it's on cmegroup.com. So I'm just going to post that link for you in the chat. cmegroup.com. Ooh, I put a period after that. Get rid of the period. Here, I'll just paste it again. cmegroup.com to go check them out. That is basically the main things that we need to keep an eye on. So not really anything in the IPO calendar. IPO calendar looking pretty dead. We have small companies, 7 million, 9 million, 6 million coming out. We had three recent IPOs. I think these were the ones. Was it B something else? No, this wasn't the one. Okay, they completely didn't even put it on the website here, or do we have to refresh it? Possibly had to refresh it. No, I don't see that ticker that recently IPO'd on Friday. We had 3 biotechnologies in clinical stages IPOing on Wednesday. One of them opened around $27 and was a monster short opportunity. If you were looking for that, it did not have a lot of liquidity on it, but it traded okay volume right off the open, and then the rest of the day did not really have a lot of volume on it. But that was the story for that specific day alone. Sadly, no other names in the IPO calendar setting up for us to keep an eye on. I don't care unless they're at least 100 million in the offer amount. If they're not at least 100 million, it's almost a nothing burger trade for me. So we'll see what happens on this side. You should go play live and do the play-by-play trades. Dude, what is that? You should go live and do the play-by-play trades. I am live. But play-by-play? Oh, you're talking about in the day. Yeah, I can't during the day because I work at a firm. So he's talking about possibly taking trades live like I used to back in the day. No, at the new company, we're not allowed to stream our well, it's not the new company's rule. It's technically the old company where I used to stream for. It's their rule that we can't stream this platform because they want to have a monopoly. So yeah, shout out to them. You can blame them for that. Based on, however, tomorrow's watch list, which is what we're going to mainly focus on. Here is tomorrow's watch list, starting with some of the squeezing names. The watch list doesn't really show up properly, so I'll bring it onto this screen. The watch list starting with some squeezing names such as PLCE going absolutely crazy. Affirm moving back into its earnings day high ranges almost. Some semiconductor names, TSM, Micron moving back into that $91 price after that downgrade. So possibly getting ready to break out of 91, or if the semiconductor industry pulls back, possible short out of that 91 area. So we're going to keep an eye on this one pretty close. Palantir, obviously, that S&P 500 at inclusion along with Dell. Maybe I'll just move up Dell a little bit. Oracle, stock that recently reported earnings, and then after reporting earnings, couple days after that, they came out and they said oh, guess what? A full year 2026 and our 2029 outlook, we're gonna upgrade that too. So they went up a little bit higher to the north side and had a little nice pullback on Friday on Oracle, but that pullback, in my opinion, will get bought right back up. So we'll be watching Oracle without a doubt. Roblox moving into a solid level, a multi-year resistance level on Roblox. We'll take a look at that one for sure. Gold and silver breaking out. I think gold broke out to a new all-time high last Friday. Silver kind of broke out one of its daily chart resistance and moving into a new level again. Not really at all-time high yet, but moving up to the north side. So keeping an eye on that one. Obviously, our Magnificent Seven: Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, and then the ETFs themselves, such as QQQ, S&P 500, IWM, and SMH. So that's going to be our watch list for tomorrow. We got John Von Sewers is in the house. Good evening, Prada. Like, smash the like, and watching the show. I appreciate it, John. You know, I love every time seeing your name in the chat. Are you serious? I found you through them, so you can't stream live of the old company even though they let you go? That doesn't make any sense. No, so I use still their software, right? I still use the same software. I just work at a different prop floor. So they have a rule that you can't stream their software at all, unless you are working for that stupid company again. So unless you're working for that company, you can't stream the software that you'd use to trade with, or like that software that you used to trade with. Now, if I'm using a different software to trade with, then obviously I can stream, it doesn't matter. But because I'm still with the prop floor, not with that same prop floor, I'm just with a different prop floor that still uses that same software, I can't stream that software. For some reason, I'm really hating how these comments are showing up a little buggy. I want to see if they're showing up buggy for me over here too on YouTube. Let me pull it up on YouTube real quick. That's a lot of stocks for the watch list. You know it, brother. You know it. We're gonna add a couple more stocks on the watch list just by taking a look at some of the popular streamers that I like to look. That's okay. Yeah. See, why is that so? Looked fine on the other side earlier. See if that looks better. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. Okay, boom, we're using that now. I was gonna open up this link for the watch list. Let me quickly open up this link also. Where is it? SMMT game plan, FOMC game plan, full scan. We want that link. What stocks are these guys talking about? Nvidia, SMCI, Novavax, DJT. These were their trades. Okay, so they're talking about their trades from last week. Main watches, DJT, SMMT. That stock has been moving pretty crazy to the north side. Maybe we should add that one to the watch list. We will add that one for sure. SMMT, SMX. Noisy chart on Friday intraday, but we'll monitor for failed follow-through setup. Okay, that's a pretty interesting name. Serve, this one's going crazy again. Okay, LUMN going crazy again. RDFN, lots of small cap names. Moderna has been taking a little bit of a beating recently, so possibly should have that one on the watch list too. Let's add that one real quick. Moderna. SCHW, relative weakness in the financial banking sector. Watch for more downside on any market weakness. Okay, I was looking for some bank names to watch. I only looked at JPM and WFC when I was scanning for stocks, but these guys over here identified SCHW at a triple bottom, and if the market has some weakness, possible lower area breaking down. So I like this chart a lot more than what I saw on JPM and what I saw on WFC. Palantir already on the watch list. Gold already on the watch list. Love to see that. TLT will most likely make a move on FOMC. Yep. So I usually like to take a look at TLT going into FOMC. So we'll talk about this Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Make sure you tune in for that one. Lovely scan that these guys post out. Amazing video that these guys post out every single time too. Around 6 o'clock or so, when they do their scan, I love taking a look at their watch list, and I love adding their stocks to my watch list. And the main thing I enjoy seeing is when they have similar stocks in their watch list compared to mine. Like they had Nvidia, they had SMCI, which I don't have, so I'm gonna add that to my semiconductor names. Forgot about SMCI. See, always good to watch these other names, other big YouTubers too. So SMCI, gold was a big one. They mentioned gold, and I had gold on my watch list, so that one's gonna be interesting. I wanted an XLF trade because of how weak the banking sector was. I just couldn't find one. Thankfully, they found one for me, SCHW, so we're gonna keep the eye on that one. And I almost forgot about Moderna. I'm long TLT, says TH. Let's go. So you're long treasury yields, basically. Long treasury yields. Okay, dang, is that software good? Must set that magical stop post number automatically. Post number. It doesn't really work like that, but it's a prop firm, right? So it's the software that uses the company money to trade with and so on. So I don't really need to put up any money. I get to use the company money, and I get to keep a percentage. That's how prop floors work. And prop floor means proprietary. It means secretive software. You don't share it with anybody. You don't talk about it with anybody. So that's how that software works. That's how most companies that use proprietary softwares work. That's why you don't see SMB Capital showing their streams in the morning. That's why you don't see Kirshner trading. That's why you don't see 7 Points Capital showing their software. These softwares are better than what retail traders use, right? It's faster. It's quicker to execute. These use high frequency trading connections. They have servers dedicated directly on the floors. So these are softwares that are built for high frequency traders that are using a lot of orders, getting in and out a lot. These are not for like normal retail traders who are just trying to get in and get out. You only have PDT rules, so you're not even trying to build a big position, or you can't even get in and out too many times. So you just have to be very picky with what trades you choose. So it's a completely different way the trading system works over here, and that's why we can't stream it. Unless I used to work for the company. If I still work for them, then yeah, I would be able to stream it under their umbrella. But because I don't, and I'm glad I don't, because that company sucks, I get to use the software under the different umbrella. Yes, sir. Okay. So why don't we start with some of the names at the top of that watch list, starting with PLCE, finally hitting that $15.30 area, a target that I thought the stock would go into day 2 for some reason. I don't know. I thought it would do it in 2 days, but no, it took 3 days to do it. Shout out to this name. So still trapping some more shorts every single day. If you look at it on the 5-minute area, every single day we kind of look like the stock looks weak by not able to hold above the previous day's highs, and then trap the shorts, rips to the north side, a lot of people blown out. TNON was another name that there's a complete oh wow, that's crazy. Pulled all the way back after breaking accounts in pre-market. That's insane. Wow, from $7 to $123. Chat, people blew up their accounts on this. That hurts. That's why you be careful when you're trying to short these names. That's why you got to be careful when you're trying to short these names. Okay, PLCE, high short float, big move to the north side, moving into a previous technical area and showing a little bit of resistance off of that. But because of how big of a short float this company has, the explosiveness to the north side is what gets us excited. So the last short float number is still the same number, 55.79. I think it takes like 2 weeks to get reported for the new numbers. So we don't really know for a couple more weeks, or maybe even 1 more week, until we see if the PLCE's short float has gone up or not. This high today on Friday was 1543, and we have that level at 1530. So basically from 1530 to 1550 almost, we have a little bit of a resistance area on PLCE, and if we start getting above it, holding above that area, that just opens up more north side action for PLCE. And as for the pullback, I mean, the failure to follow through, and I'm putting that in quotes over here because the stock has to really get back under previous day's lows and show us failure to follow through on consecutive days for us to even think about that setup. Until now, until then, you could look for how it reacts around that $10 $12 area to the downside. I'm currently only looking to smash the long over here on PLCE, because if we get that explosive opportunity with 50% of the float short, and 12 million I think was the float, 12 million float, 50% of that float short, you do the math, we're getting a lot of people trapped. I think we kind of showed you guys also the volume profile. Most of the volume was transacted around these areas, so you want to see the stock doing a little bit of this. You want to see it wiggling around this area a little bit, trapping the shorts in this area for that explosive move, or you want to see it go above and then kind of doing something like this for that another explosive move, basically what we did on Friday. You want to see the build up, the action, the fight. You want to see the fighting happening. You want to see shorts being built into that area, and then once that high breaks, we get that monster explosion to take advantage of. Right now, the stock's ATR is $1.22, and not really doing as much volume as day one. Day one, we brought in about 60 million shares. Day 2 and 3, obviously very low volume being brought in, but overall, the average 30-day volume is now going up, and we are getting ready for some fun. SMMT, the next small cap name, which I actually have to go take a look at for this ATR. Well, ATR is $2.39. Not really that much of a small cap, I guess, but a short float's pretty decent. 701 million float, 17.24% of short float in that position. So pretty decent. I don't know why it's not red in color. I guess it goes in red if it's in 20% or higher. Here is the chart for this stock. Go to the 1-year chart. Okay, that's all-time high. Jeez. Okay, SMMT. So getting clearly a little active, a little overactive maybe even. Looking for possible resistances coming into the north side for us to take advantage of. But right now, as we have seen previously, right, we want to see characteristics changing on a position like this to really even think about the short side. There could be still people getting blown out on a stock like this. Not sure what the news catalyst is, but just purely looking at the chart, purely looking at the way the stock is moving, it is not ready for the short yet. We want to see the previous day's high getting tested and rejected. We want to see the previous day's low getting breaking and then going lower, and then any pullbacks into those previous day's lows. We want to see rejections on those at those previous day's lows again for us to have a big move right back to the south side. So SMMT over here having that rocket ship ride at all-time highs. Okay, at all-time highs. So let's just let the rocket ship keep on flying. Once the ship is run out of its oil, run out of its gas, and is getting ready to get pulled back to the north side with gravity, because it hasn't really broken through to stratosphere yet, hasn't really gone to the outside layers yet. So gravity is going to have an effect on it eventually. We just don't know when when the gravity is going to pull it back. So keep an eye on it if you're waiting for the short side. If you're looking for the long, use anchored VWAP. See how the stock reacts on previous days anchored VWAPs. Previous days VWAP, day 3 VWAP, day 1 VWAP. You can even put a VWAP right here where the volume point started on this position. So right there, you can see how the stock is showing a VWAP at 23.35. That's on the daily scale, obviously. If you maybe go to the 15-minute, that's coming right around yesterday's low. So that's Thursday's low. That's coming right around Thursday's low at $24. So imagine the stock pulls back to 24, bounces off of 24. That is an opportunity for you to look long for another run back to the north side, another run back into Friday's high, and then maybe even a move past Friday's high on some of these high short float names that are being very active at the moment. So PLCE, SMMT, keep an eye on how previous days anchored VWAPs behave, on how the day 1 move anchored VWAPs behave. Are they showing you buying still? Are they still looking to trap the shorts and so on? I meant stop loss, but damn, why do they suck so much? I thought they had the best software. I loved you on that show. Gave Sean a run for his money. I appreciate that, brother. I mean, they just don't want competition. They just don't want competition. I think that's it. But at the end of the day, it's a proprietary software, so I understand. Like no proprietary company, no proprietary trading firm allows you to stream their software like that. But in regards to you know, that show, yeah, they just don't want competition. They're scared for every reason. They suck. That's why. It's hilarious. All right, Affirm moving back into the earnings day range high. So we did see a pretty big barrier around this $45, exactly $45 coming into play on the second day of earnings and on the third day of earnings, at which point the stock pulled back from. But now pretty big reversal back into $45 here on AFRM. Above 45, we have another area of interest over here, possibly into $50, and then above 50 at $52.50. So let's see how 45 plays out. Now this is a pretty steep move back up, right? Gap up, steep pullback, and another steep incline, almost a V-shaped recovery over here on Affirm. If the market has some juice before Wednesday to take out all-time high, Affirm could potentially have a little bit of juice to ramp up past 45, but we need to see if buyers can actually defend on any sort of a pullback at that 45 area. So let's say the stock this is the 5-minute chart, right? Imagine this is the 5-minute chart, and the stock actually ramps up out of 45 off the open. Hello? Ramps up out of 45 off the open. We want to see pullback and holding at least 46 or at least 47. And if the 47, 46 doesn't hold, but we pull back all the way to 45 and 45 actually holds, that's when you want to look for that you know, long opportunity, in my opinion, not off the opening drive, because the opening drive, with how far the stock has run into, could be a little bit of a trap if you get long. So you want to be very careful on the opening drive, especially when a stock looks like this on the daily chart. You want to see maybe some consolidation before this area and then breakout. That could set up for a monster move if that happens before, like right off the open. Off the open, the stock has some barriers off of 45 and then rips off of 45. That's great. Or maybe off the open, we rip off of 45 into 46, 47. We pull back into 45. We hold 45, 20, 45, 30, and we start making higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Amazing. That's exactly where you want to look to get long. But I don't want to think for the long setup on the opening drive over here at all, because that just would feel like an absolute trap for me. Above 45, we have the easy high at flat easy $50. If you just zoom out over here on the daily chart, you can see that double top into 50, and then we got almost a multiple day top into that $52.50 area. So just putting those few numbers as a watch on Affirm to keep an eye on. Now imagine a scenario where 45 gives you a false breakout. We actually get that 45 ramp in pre-market, we get that 45 ramp off the open, the stock breaks, but on the pullback we're not able to stay above 45. That is now your right side of the V for the short side, right? We get above, we pull back, we're not able to reclaim the 45 area. That is your trigger to get short for a move back into 42, $40, whatever the stock gives you. If the market has a pullback tomorrow, whatever the market gives you, you get a nice little trigger to get short on that move back, return to the south side. Gravity pull, as I keep calling it. As gravity pulls back the market, pulls back the stock a little bit after having an insane reversal, as we need to now discover demand and supply equilibrium. Ooh, what a word. Demand and supply equilibrium needs to be found again. Okay, next stock we have on the watch list, Moderna. Let's go take a look at Moderna. Recently getting smoked, ATR of $4.70. And while I'm here, I'm just going to take a look at a couple more stocks, because these stocks were just added to the watch list. SMCI, $40.76. Gone are the day of $50 ATRs for SMCI. Okay, next stock, Moderna. So I think they had a little bit of negative catalyst, and then they lowered their own guidance. So you can see this 52-week low, or should I say, sorry, oh, that's not the 52-week low. Okay. Okay, so that is the 52-week low, which also happens to be the earnings low of November 2023, and the most recent consolidation low where the stock made a triple bottom and tried to rally before the negative news came in. We're kind of stuck between this range now, so you have absolute edges to play with. You have the 71.50 to play with, and then you have the 62.50 to play with. So in my opinion, I kind of don't even want to make a decision on the stock at all unless it's either one of those prices. And you can see how Thursday's candle was just an inside day of Friday's candle was just an inside day of Thursday, and Thursday's high was basically the almost 71.50, and Thursday's low was almost exactly that 62.50 area, although it wasn't, but it almost was. So this box now becomes a little interesting, and if we go down there, support over there can give you a long opportunity. Failing to hold above that area could give you a short opportunity. Vice versa to the upside. Failing to hold above this area could give you a short opportunity, and if rejecting around this area could give you short opportunity, and holding above this area could give you a long. So looking for Moderna to set up only around the edges. If it's not going to give me an opportunity around the edges, I'm not going to care about it at all. Let's go to Charles Schwab. Shout out to Investors Underground boys, Chris and Stan, I believe. Hopefully I'm not getting their names wrong. I've been watching them for quite some time now. You would hope that I would have a decent enough memory to remember their names. But let's talk about Charles Schwab. Amazing call out over there. Did not even watch the video, and I will. Here, I'll actually link the video in the chat over here so you guys can take a look at it. Make sure you watch that video at your own time. Preferably not when I'm streaming, but make sure you watch that video. Today's video is actually only 40 minutes long. I like it when they have an hour-long video, but only 40 minutes long. I'll watch it later on after I walk my dog, and when I'm gaming or whatever, I'll just leave that stream in the back and listen to what they have to say about their own trade ideas. But based on what I saw at a quick glance on that chart, Charles Schwab, multiple bottom. I guess you could call this a triple bottom over here on the daily chart, but multiple daily bottom coming in exactly around that $61 area. Here is XLF. The banking sector has had some weakness recently as it's been pulling back. JP Morgan got smoked to the downside. Wells Fargo pulled back pretty hard. Citigroup pulled back pretty hard. So Charles Schwab, if XLF actually manages to hold and Charles Schwab is around $61, that gives you almost a no-brainer, great risk to reward, high win chance probability of a long setting up. But if XLF continues to be weak and Charles Schwab is at around $61, a short through that area gives you a monster opportunity to look to get under 60 for an even bigger move below 60 to 57 or something bigger than that on a swing term scale. So Charles Schwab setting up over here, something that you might want to keep an alert on. So I'm going to throw an alert right there at $61.24, 21 cents, whatever the alert is at. I'm going to leave that alert over there for myself to be ready for. What is that? $61.24 is where my alert. Once that triggers, we are go mode. We are on go mode. Oh, look at that. ESM, Taiwan Semiconductors, moving into a solid level, almost kind of what Micron's doing at the moment. So 175.45. If we can get above here, that's going to be explosive to the north side. But if the semiconductor sector is weak, Micron's not able to get above 175.50, then you got a nice little short coming in. You can see how Friday highs was exactly around 175. So this level is getting ready for either an expansive burst up to the north side or a reject, very similar to what Micron is getting ready to do right into that $91 area. I think it was actually 90, yeah, let's just say 91. We did peak above 91 slightly, yeah, to 91.50 on Friday, but basically $91 to 91.50 on Micron. If we can continue to hold above this price on tomorrow's opening drive, I think we got a nice move to the upside, but failure to stay above 91 opens up some downside room on Micron to keep an eye on. You can make sure you have that bad boy on your watch list for 100%. SMCI making a little bit of a reversal here. I think they had some recent news catalysts about their 10K filings, and they're actually going to file it, or they refiled it or something. I could be wrong over here. I haven't looked at their news catalyst. This is a name that you know, I let my manager tell me how to trade, and then I trade it, but usually I don't even try to touch this position. So keep an eye on this one. You know, it's a scary one for me. It's a scary one for me, so I try to stay away from this. You got to trade what's comfortable for you. Looks like we could have a move right back into the $600 area, at which point I could be ready for a short. But until then, I don't really want to do too much with this choppy name in the middle of these ranges. So keep an eye on it. I just don't want to touch it too much. I have it on my watch list though. Palantir, as I said, getting ready for a possible breakout. So it did break out up 1.95% on Thursday, but it was very ugly. If you actually watched it, I mean, whoo-wee, that was choppy. So trapped people, pulled back, then ripped up, and then trapped people again, and then pulled back. So Palantir being a very, very dirty name at the moment. I did the same thing on Thursday too. I remember watching it, and I almost got, actually I did get trapped on Thursday, so I did not want to get trapped on Friday when it was doing a very similar move. However, I should have possibly been ready to get long later on in the day, because Thursday later on in the day it rallied, Friday later on in the day it rallied, so maybe there's something there for the later on in the day for Palantir. However, the overall trend right now is clearly to the upside. The S&P 500 inclusion is helping the name get back to glory levels, get back to glorious levels over here. So shout out to Palantir. The investors who were underwater for quite some time are whoever diamond handed it is loving this position now. Whoever paper handed it like me and got out for slight profits are very, very upset. As a day trade, however, looking for Palantir to show me buying on dips. I don't expect a bigger dip than the Friday's low. If we get back under Friday's low, that's possibly weakness in the market. That's probably weakness in the stock and its changing characteristics. We did pop up more than 10%, which is usually the amount of percent that a stock pops up after it gets included to the S&P 500. It could do a little bit more than that. I mean, if you go to Uber and find out exactly what day Uber was announced that it was added, and then the day that Uber was actually added, Uber had a pretty big move to the north side since then. So I'm not saying that this is going to cap out anytime soon, but you know, this is Palantir we're talking about. Palantir's got so many shares out there that people need to go and buy for it to move crazy, right? Like Palantir's got 2 billion shares, okay? 2 billion shares. Just keep that in mind. Dell making a pretty good reversal at this point, but now we're exactly at those price points where the stock has found resistance previously. The earnings day high and the previous solid resistance from which the stock looked like it was going to get weaker. On earnings it got higher, rejected, got lower, broke that range low. S&P 500 inclusion came in and it got support above that 105. So a lot of activity for us to you know, have a read over here. But now finally we're getting some levels to actually make decisions. So 114.50 and then above that 117, 118 area on Dell to the upside. So keep an eye on these ones, possibly finding some opportunity to get a short off of this area on Dell. But if Dell also keeps on going and finds support over this area, then that basically shows you that this was a little bit of a fail break, and now Dell getting ready for an expansion to the upside, along with its partner in crime, Palantir, who's getting added to the S&P 500. Oracle, big pullback, gap close, but I think here's where we can expect some support coming in. I think they not only increased their 2026, 2029 guidance, they also, when their earnings report, increased their 2025 guidance. And then the day after their earnings report, they announced a partnership with another company, I believe it was Google or something. They announced a partnership with Amazon on their own earnings report. So lots of bullishness over here on Oracle for us to really even think negative. I know this pullback, this candle, that big reject is quite a bit of a slap in the face. The stock was up drastically off the open. I mean, it was up 10%, 8%, and then it actually only closed 0.4% when the market was actually green on Friday, right? 0.45% green on Friday. S&P 500 closed at a new high a day. SPY closed at a new high a day. So why was Oracle, who had such good news, reacting such a negative way? In my opinion, a lot of people just took profits. I mean, you got people buying from the August 7th lows, and they just jumped up 37% in profits. 37% in profits. So in my opinion, that is a little bit of profit taking. Retail hands, some weaker hands is taking their money and calling it, saying thank you. Now we're getting ready to see if the demand can match with the supply. We got a clear supply over here, supply candle. Can the demand in this area that got created because of all of these combinations of catalysts help the stock find supports in these zones and start rallying back up higher? Or does it actually push all the way back down, close that even big gap that we created, close that gap, and then start rallying back higher? So Oracle's got some questions to answer. So far, I'm only looking to get long on Oracle because of how bullish most of those catalysts were. But where to get long, we'll have to wait a couple times. We'll have to wait some time to see. At the moment, 160, looks nice and easy to just say 160, but I don't want to throw out any prices at the moment. I want to let Oracle show me where the buying is coming in. Is it going to be off the earnings anchored VWAP? Is it going to be all the way at this range low at 153? So I want to be patient. Show me where the buying is coming in. Show me the money. Roblox. Big move on Roblox. Monster move on Roblox from $30 into $45 here. But if you pull back Roblox on the daily chart, that level right there into $47.60, that is a multi-year high on Roblox where it has struggled to get above. So you can see how we got, what is that, October 2022, multi-year high on the stock, and then above that obviously we have a little bit more peak coming into $53 or so. Let me just quickly mark up this area maybe. So right into $53. So Roblox either rejects off this area in my opinion, or breaks out of this and goes into 53. So keep an eye on this one as we push into this. I'm not saying we go here tomorrow, but pushing into this area will obviously make it interesting for me to keep an eye on. I'm going to set an alert right around $47.28 on RBLX. Multi-year high, multi-year high. Volume, sadly, not as much as we're used to watching on this position. Volume on Roblox has died down drastically. TLT is the only reasonable and responsible long at these market levels given the macro environments we are headed into. Liquidity and LQD. I'm guessing you're saying LQD, not liquidity. Gotcha. LQD and HYG and VCLT as well. I've owned HYG H and SVOL for most of the year, both doing okay, but a major market shift ahead. TH, banging the drums again. TH banging the drums for the short side. I love it. Yo, putting up these chats is sick. I know, right? I just got it set up today. I think you can do more cool stuff too, like create a banner. Like for example, if I was talking about Microsoft, right? Add a banner, and then boom, I could say I'm talking about Microsoft now, ladies and gentlemen, and I could start talking about that. But I would have to create all banners. I would have to go in there, click on the banners. It would be so much work while I'm doing these stocks. I'm just not interested in doing all that work. But this is pretty cool. Having chat show up on screen is awesome. And the best part is, I don't even have to pay for this. My genius found a way to do this for free without having to pay for it. on StreamYard. So thank you, StreamYard, for making my life easier. All right, Roblox, just keep an eye on this one. GLD, where am I typing? GLD. Gold breaking out to a new high, ladies and gentlemen, an all-time high. Now going higher and higher and higher, just not stopping. If you have gold bullion stuffed in your walls or in your bank lockers, you're loving it at the moment. You're loving it because it is at $238.98. GLD. GDX was the one that our friends over at Investors Underground pointed out, because this one not really at the same all-time high breakout, I guess, as GLD. What is GLD's volume? 6.4 million on a 30-day average. GDX, which is a lot lower in price, has 17.86 million volume, and kind of getting ready for that expansive catch-up, I guess. So watching this one for sure. Didn't really break out as gold. The overall S&P 500 GLD ETF gold broke out, but something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on. GDX, GLD. Another one that I mentioned earlier was silver, SLV. I'm just adding GDX to my watch list here. This is a Van Eck Gold Miners ETF. Another one I mentioned was SLV, silver. Silver breaking out a little bit past one of the solid resistance areas that it had recently, so that's going to possibly give another reaction into the mining sector, maybe because it broke out, because gold broke out. So whatever it is, a pullback into these areas and showing support will be interesting to keep an eye on. So make sure you have the gold, the miners, the ETFs all on the watch list. And if you're trading a stock specific compared to the ETFs itself, it's always good to have the ETF just open in the side just as a barometer, because if the overall ETF is pulling back, then you can maybe get ready to make a decision on the stock itself. If the stock is pulling back along with the ETF, they're trading in line, then maybe you just step away from it and you take your profits if you're long or whatever it is. So keep an eye on GDX, SLV if you're trading the specific mining names. I myself, I'm just going to go directly and trade these ETFs directly with themselves. The last sector that we have on watch is the large cap Mega 7, the Magnificent 7, as I should call them actually. What is GDX's ATR? $2. Thank you. Apple, there we go. Apple 224. I mean, that has been a level. You can see how Friday's high exactly 224. So if we can reclaim that price point, that's possibly giving you an easy long opportunity. But I personally don't think the market should do too much going into FOMC Wednesday. So going into FOMC Wednesday, I'm not expecting the S&P 500 to break out of the all-time high. That would be a little crazy. That would be a little crazy for us to break out an all-time high right before FOMC Wednesday. Another interesting thing to keep an eye on is notice how the market bounced right off of the August recession lows anchored VWAP. So you have the August recession low anchored VWAP thrown in right there. We kind of doubled bottom into that 545, what is that, 544? Nope, exactly 540 area. Doubled bottom into that 540 on the daily chart and breaking out into the all-time high zones almost right before FOMC interest rate decision. So pretty crazy over here as we're setting up on the S&P 500, on the QQQ, and all other ETFs in general. I think IWM is the only one that's been lagging, and even that's catching up. Okay, IWM's catching up too. So SMH moving higher. XLF is the only weak one that we're kind of excited to short at the moment. So watching how the ETF set up, my personal expectations is not much juice going into FOMC Wednesday. If I'm wrong, I'm more than happy with that being wrong, because that means money making opportunities, right? So money making opportunities, I'm always happy being wrong on when I say that we're not going to have much going into Wednesday. VIX has pulled back quite a bit. I wanted the VIX to stay above 19. It looks like we're moving back on the VIX side, so volatility dying down. The fear in the market, not really as much as there was. Once again, EWJ, which is the Japan index fund, going back higher. USD JPY had a little bit of a scare. Oh, USD JPY still going down here. Okay, never mind. Had a little bit of a scare, but that got corrected pretty quickly. Still watching these pairs and the carryover trade relation. I think if Bank of Japan decides to increase interest rates, that could cause a little bit of pain and make the carry trade murky again and make the market go back down. So watching how all that comes into play, I don't think we're gonna see the Bank of Japan making a decision before I shouldn't say R because I'm not American, but before FOMC, which is the American committee, makes their decision on Wednesday. So I think we have a couple more weeks, couple more days before Bank of Japan actually does anything crazy that excites the market. But overall, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up, not only in this week, but for the rest of the year. We got election in November. We got obviously interest rates coming up in 2 days. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be fun, so let's get ready. September is supposed to be the worst month of the year. Markets already looking green on the month so far, so let's see what happens. Markets are having an insane pullback. Does the correction come in, or has the correction already been recorrected by moving back higher over here and bouncing off of the August recession lows anchored VWAP? Lots of fun stuff to look out for on the market here. I am excited as hell. Is Snow going anywhere on Monday? Do you have an entry point? I'm looking at Snowflake right now, and this is a pretty interesting chart actually. You can see how Snowflake has clearly bottomed out into that $108. I actually haven't looked at Snowflake in a while. This could be a pretty decent entry on a swing scale on Snowflake. If you buy Snowflake somewhere into 110 and you have support around 108, your stops under 108, under 107 actually. That's the all-time, that's the 52-week low. So have your stops under 107, and if you can get long near 110 or so, that looks like an opportunity to look long on a swing scale. But if Snow actually gets below that and starts looking weak into 107, that could open up more downside on the swing scale on Snowflake. That is also the all-time low on Snowflake. Hold up. Jeez. That is the all-time low on Snowflake. So yeah, this looks like a great long over here for a swing scale trade. How bad is Snowflake's PE? That's pretty bad. 123, but based off of technicals, I mean, you have a very clear defined stop for your risk. If we get below 107, 105 and make a new low below that, there is simply no more longs on a swing scale. But if we keep on holding around here, there could be an easy long back into 120, 130, 150s, 200s, and in a long-term perspective, right? Long-term perspective. So all-time low being tested and actually supported pretty damn well. So Snowflake, if you're looking for this as a day trade, I mean, the volume's not really there for me to get excited. It would really have to push into this all-time low off of some catalyst, and then I get to maybe decide if I want to go short through here, or maybe I get to decide if I want to go long off of that support. So as a day trade, I'm not really that interested to look for a trade on the stock. But as a swing trade, I mean, support at 110, stop at 108, 107, sorry, not 108, stop at 107, 106. I would even, give that risk to 105. Get $5 of risk in there as a swing term idea, and you got opportunity to make $50, $100 on a longer term perspective. I might actually even buy some of this in my own account and hold on to this, on Snowflake. So I'm just gonna put it in my notes somewhere to keep this one, or buy this on my watch list. Actually, where do I put this? I don't want to put it on my daily watch list. Okay, fine. We'll just put it in my daily watch list at the bottom of the list. No. 108 to 107, all-time low basically, and you're looking to get long into 110, 111. If I can get a dip buy on this stock into this all-time lows with the tight stop below the all-time low swing area, I'm okay getting long. And if I lose on it, I lose. That's fine. But if I win, I'm winning big on the next year, over the next 3 years, over the next 5 years. So watching this one without a doubt. Snowflake Technology. Sadly though, the PE is nasty. Are they even making money? They're making money. If I remember correctly, their forecast was also not that bad. When we saw Snowflake crush down, we were like, this has got to be a long somewhere here. There's got to be a long somewhere here. So we were surprised by with that also. So I'm watching Snowflake for not as a day trade, more as an investment. More as an investment or a swing trade, really. Not even an investment. I shouldn't even say investment, more as a swing trade. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't advise you to invest stocks or buy stocks or anything. This is just my personal interest on what I think about where the stock could go based on technical indicators. That's it. Okay. For the Magnificent Seven, as we were there before we got distracted, I like to look at most of the Mag 7 on the larger time frame, such as the hourly time frame. So Apple, you can see if you pull back on the hourly time frame, that 224 area was a little bit of a level, and then we pull back into 224 and we're kind of struggling around there. So 224, keeping an eye. If we start holding above that, then possible longs above it. If we start holding below it, then continue to look for the short. Amazon has been pretty strong recently. Keep this one on the watch for without a doubt. Google making a nice little reversal. I remember looking for a long on Google on Friday. Microsoft also looking strong above one of its previous resistance areas. So watching Microsoft to see how it reacts on pullbacks into 427.50 if the market actually stays long. So if the market stays long and strong, 427.50 on Microsoft should show some support. Meta, which has been the strongest large cap Mag 7 stock on the original rally when the market was rallying back. Most of the Mag 7 wasn't really doing what Meta was doing. So watching Meta over here at one of the big levels that I believe Meta should easily climb through if the market is looking strong. But if the market is weak, then Meta should struggle around this area, which is 527.50. So watching Meta around this price point, if we can get above 527.50, I'm looking for that breakout long, but the market needs to kind of match that whole theory, and I don't really think we're gonna get that theory matched because the market doesn't really doesn't have that ability, in my opinion, to break out an all-time high before FOMC. So either short around this area or a breakout long off of this area on Meta, without a doubt. Watching that one. And Nvidia, look at that beautiful wedge being formed. So you can draw a nice triangle, a beautiful wedge, and take the breakout of that wedge on the hourly chart. Easy chart pattern play. There's no two ways about it. Easy move from here into that 116, 117 area, or a easy move into 123. SMH has been a pretty big rally recently, so watching how if SMH can kind of coincide with the Nvidia rally. Tesla, you are in almost the same basket as Meta, honestly, but you've been a lot more volatile. You've been a lot more whippy. So Tesla makes me want to kind of step back a little bit and be more calculated with this one. There is one big level on Tesla that I've been waiting for quite some time, however, which is at 235. We haven't really pushed into that price ever since, what is this, Thursday? So let's Thursday, September 5th, I think, right? Yeah, Thursday, September 5th. So let's see if we can go back into that tomorrow, show us a reject around there, or breaking out above that and staying strong above that will open up a lot of opportunities on Tesla. That's basically a quick little rundown of Magnificent 7. Google, I don't really like to day trade. Microsoft, I don't really like to day trade. Apple, Meta, Tesla, Nvidia are going to be the main ones that I'm looking for. QQQ, S&P 500, and IWM, as I already mentioned. Going to be very selective. I think we're going to compress a little bit. Not really have too much activity on the market going into FOMC. I know I've said that like 10 times already, but keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. If I'm wrong, which I'll be more than happy being wrong about, because that means we're gonna have some big moves on the market and we get to make money off of. So let's hope that I'm wrong on that, and we get to make kashish for the hashish, right? Hashish for the hashish. But that is basically the watch list for tomorrow. Here, bang, that's the watch list. Some small cap names. Recolor that one, not sure why that wasn't colored. Some small caps names, some other stocks over here that we usually like to keep an eye on. Mainly semiconductor names are from what I notice, and the gold ETF is what I notice, the big names on my watch list tomorrow. Those are the big names on my watch list. At least we're gonna watch the Sunday scan video from Investors Underground later, and hopefully we can understand what they are looking at also, to expand our plays, expand our knowledge. As always, this is what you want to do. You wanna go watch Investor Underground videos. You want to go watch SMB Capital videos to get better at day trading, right? Pro Trader bar by bar. Oh, I love these videos. This only came out a day ago. Reveals his exact entries and exits, and this guy goes by bar by bar by bar, telling you where he gets long, where he gets short. In fact, I'm going to take this link and I'll post it in the chat for you guys to watch it at your own leisure time. Go watch it probably after this stream, because we're almost done over here. I gotta go walk my dog, I gotta go do the dishes, eat some food, get some meds in me, have some stomach problems after that. So you know, I got a bunch of stuff to do. We are basically done for tonight. We walked through already the econ, the earnings, the IPO, and the FOMC numbers. So all I can do at this point, ladies and gentlemen, is wish you a very, very profitable week. Good luck on this monster FOMC week coming up for us. We're going to be having a lot of fun on the market. Obviously, Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. I'll keep you guys ready. I'll keep you guys informed on all the hot movers each day and all the possible hot movers the next day for us to keep an eye on. I'm your boy TraderPrad. Good luck for the coming week. Have a great rest of your weekend, whatever's left of it. And let's make some money, baby. Let's make some money. Peace. Thank you for coming. Trade off of, get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.